Okay.
Hi, I'm Ludi Goodson, and with me
is Worth Weller.
And Worth, we are taking a look at the use of social media in the classroom. Well, we could talk about it, and we could look at the research, but I thought it would be good to take a closer look at a real example.
Okay. Well, I've been teaching online since about 2002, and one of the issues always is not so much the curriculum, it's how to drag the students into the curriculum, how to engage them to actually enter into the discussion about the curriculum.
Can you show me an example?
I can show you some examples of what I've been doing, and one of the reasons I'm enjoying this road trip this week so much, giving us a chance to take a look at what's going on and how maybe we can kind of improve the way we're using it and really make sure we are reaching these students.
So what are we looking at now?
This is a blog, and in my visual communications class I like to use blogs because blogs are highly visual, and even when I teach this class face-to-face, which I have done, I like to use the blog because students can get up and show their blogs to everybody. It's a very easy way to handle media.
So is this a student's project?
This is a student's project here. And I've asked them to take some pictures, kind of before and after pictures, showing how the flash affects the lighting of a picture, how it affects the tone and texture of a picture, and then take some pictures without flash. So here's a blog. The student did this project with the flash. On this next slide, they've enhanced the picture, kind of changed the tone a little bit, changed the lighting a little bit, using some of the readily available tools on the internet to actually deal with pictures. So they get.
And it looks like the student has explained what she has done in this photograph of her dad.
Exactly.
And it's a public posting.
It's a public posting.
Well, what about that? I mean, is this okay for the students?
Well, I haven't had any, you know, you can be stalked on a blog and you can get spam on a blog. I haven't run across a student who's said that, okay? I have students, they are able to deliver this same material in another fashion. If they don't want to be quite so public, I don't force them to do this, all right? I give them some opportunities to deliver it just regular through Blackboard. And as a matter of fact, we'll get to the Blackboard section where I'm actually duplicating everything. Everything is in Blackboard also.
It's in Blackboard also. Can you show us another example?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
The students, and once again, this is still the visual communications class, but I do the same thing for English, okay? My students are posting to blogs and creating blogs in English because blogs are highly visual, they're highly rhetoric-oriented, and today's writing occurs on the web, so here's a way to get your writing right out on the web. But back to visual communication, here's a project student took the color out of the background but left the color in the foreground and made herself a logo, kind of a permanent logo she could put on business cards, on papers.
Oh yeah,
on
that looks really good.
Okay. So that's one.
Okay, do you have any others?
I have one that I'm proud of, and I've asked all these students if I can use this, okay? And so the students post this. This is another logo. This woman's a jogger, and she's very proud of it, so this is her logo. She created this with just very simple internet tools, and she gets to display this to the whole class this way by posting it to her blog. So each student has an individual blog in this class.
So these three examples are posted on individual student blogs. Well, how's that connected with Blackboard?
Well, okay, that's a good question. First thing I do, here's one final example. Did a cropping exercise. Here's a picture the young woman took on a cruise, and then over down here she cropped it, made the boat bigger, and I think the picture's a little bit more successful. This follows all the lesson plans in the book and in the curriculum and in the learning modules in Blackboard. So the students
that's still an individual student's blog.
Right.
Okay.
But the question becomes, how do you get all the students to look at these, right? And then the question becomes, how do you actually assess these? And we're going to get to that in a minute. But the way I get the students to actually look at these and the way I can interact with them is have each student go to a class Facebook page for visual communications, and they actually post the link to their blog on Facebook. And like we're learning the road trip, Ludi, you know, what's your impression of Facebook as a curriculum tool?
It is something I have been actually wary of using because it's such a public posting, and I think about FERPA, and I worry that you know, we're revealing a student's record. But I understand that you use this very carefully so that you first of all you get the student's permission, and that you don't do any grading.
I don't do any grading on Facebook. Actually, I do make comments. Okay, I look at their blog and say, wow. Okay, so I only make positive comments and not even very directive comments, and then I tell them that your actual grade for this blog, okay, because it is graded, is going to be in Blackboard, and I actually cause them to submit the link actually into Blackboard. Okay, let's stay with face-to-face, with the Facebook just for a second, kind of to show the power of Facebook. And why am I using Facebook?
Well, I see here, I can see that you have, the student had posted the information and mentioned that she was still editing, but she still wanted to offer this. And your comment there was a positive comment. Her response, I don't see your comment, but
it's buried in there.
It's buried in the thread of the discussion.
Yeah.
But her response was, "Thank you, Mr. Weller." And I did see your comment earlier when we were looking at this yesterday, and so I know it was a very brief comment, like not even one full sentence.
No,
but
it's basically, wow, you've really gotten a good start, or what a creative logo, or something like that.
So you're having very quick but very positive interactions with the students
Facebook.
this way.
Right.
Okay.
And here's another Facebook example. Here's another student posted her link to her blog. All right. And here you can actually see my comment. Rudy, you have better eyes than I do. Can you say?
Yeah, and the comment says, "And isn't enhancing your photos cool?"
Yeah.
So these are one-line interchanges. The student's first comment was, again, this is still a work in progress. Your response was, "And isn't enhancing your photos cool?" And then her response was, "I'm having a lot of fun with it."
Exactly.
So this is building fun and enjoyment through this social medium of
and
Facebook.
And it's interactive. It makes an internet class and a face-to-face class.
It's
too.
mixed media, really, because you're using the Blogspot together with Facebook.
Right.
Excellent.
And it's all social media.
Really exciting.
And I would do this exact same thing. I have done this exact same thing in a face-to-face class. I never look at internet classes being different and separate than face-to-face classes. Okay, there's nothing I do in an internet class I wouldn't do in a face-to-face class.
Right. So let's take a look at how this all ties in with what we know about the use of social media, and I think
we have some research.
Yeah, we have this report about college students that can't go long without checking their smartphones and their laptops. So we know that they're captured by the media, and this report was given in June, and
that's pretty current.
It's pretty current. We also have a little more information about the use of Twitter, which we really haven't talked about in your examples.
No, not yet.
And this other report is also recent from the Journal of Computer Assisted Learning, and in this study, students were using Twitter for interaction with the course content, and the study found that those students had higher engagement and higher grades. So that's something that I know that we've just been addressing in the road trip workshop is, more application of the use of Twitter. So I was a little surprised when I found that research. I wonder if there's a way to play with that.
Well, I think there is, and one of the things I notice, particularly with internet classes, that it can be face-to-face class too, is you tell students a lot of things, you blast all this information out through Blackboard or whatever, and you're not ever convinced that they're actually reading their email, that they're looking at the announcements, that they're looking at what I post at the top of the homepage. I think your A students are, okay, but our goal also is to reach the less successful students. And if in fact they are using Twitter, which apparently they are, I mean, look around, okay, just on campus, and you see students walking around with their keypad-enabled cell phones or whatever, their smartphones. And so I'm thinking now that maybe in addition to my Blackboard announcements, my email and stuff, I might just simply do a little Twitter thing saying, hey, I posted a new announcement today. Or, hey, I've sent you some email. Make sure you check it before the end of the day, that kind of thing. Just short things.
Yeah, those are all examples of integrating the social media with the focus of the study of the course. Now, that seems to be real important because there was another research report. You can see this is also in 2010. And where there was a study about students who use Facebook getting actually lower grades. But when you read the information about this study, what you see is that in that study, the students were trying to study, that was one focus, and then separately do their social interactions on Facebook. So that's the opposite of what you are doing.
We're trying to integrate and not have it be a distraction, but integrate it.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure, it's still, it doesn't replace other functions of internet learning. It doesn't replace anything. It's more like an enhancement to the learning
It can't just
experience.
be an add-on.
No.
If it's an add-on, it's probably not going to be successful.
It's got to be well thought out. And then the next thing becomes, how do you assess this? All right. So how do we assess this?
Yeah. So that's a challenge,
That's
too.
a challenge.
That's another challenge.
Let's go to the next slide.
Yeah.
Whoops, we went to the index.
This is the one
No. Yeah. We got the mouse wrong. So, okay, we can edit that out probably. And if we can't, hello everybody. Sorry. Okay.
All right.
The next slide is, so I bring everything back to Blackboard. So even though it starts off, the assignments start off public, and the they go to the blog, which is public, although you could change security settings if you wanted, and then it goes to Facebook, all right, which is public, and I can't say anything really formative on any of those public settings. So I bring the assignment into Blackboard, okay, through the assignment Dropbox, and I say, okay, the actual assignment must also be the actual blog URL with all the assignments on the blog must be submitted to Blackboard in the regular assignment Dropbox place.
And that's where you do your review and assessment and your grading. Yeah.
And then the question becomes, how do you actually do that? How do you set up assessment? How do you assess a blog, or how do you assess Facebook? Well, I don't assess Facebook, but I assess the blog because that's where the projects are. So I have a rubric set up. I have the complete grading form function. That's the grading form function in Blackboard, and I have a rubric. And the way I view rubrics is they're not just assessment tools; they're also teaching and learning tools. And so I present the rubric to the class ahead of time. Make sure, hey, here's the rubric. Make sure you understand what the rubric means before you submit your blog for the final time.
And that does improve performance. There have been several studies show if you give the rubric to the students ahead of time, it improves their performance. They're more likely to do what you really want them to do.
And even better.
Not a big surprise, really.
Exactly. An even better approach, more academically sound, is to actually have the students help create the rubric, too. That's a huge, that can be a great classroom project.
Yeah. Are you going to show that to us?
I'm going to show the rubric, okay. And I believe in very simple grading. I believe in minimal marking. I believe in making the students do the work and making them understand the whole purpose of grading. Grading is not to read out. Grading is to learn. So my rubrics are designed so I can assess something very quickly, all right? And that can vary from class to class. And without being able to read the fine print here, though, I've kind of divided the whole blog assignment down into its individual projects. And I said, did you complete the right number of projects? Do you have this number of pictures? Do you have thorough commentary? Is there evidence that the students totally engaged in this? And is there evidence that, because this is a visual communication class,
and I like in your grading form that you don't use a whole lot of words. Because if you use too many words, it's too hard to understand and follow. But this is pretty clear about what it's going to take to get a rating of excellent versus good.
It's clear to the students, clear to me. This creates transparency. It creates transparency in assessment, and it's creating. Well, let's summarize here. And Louie has something really cool here that I think is a good place to end.
We have a lot of research about student motivation, and one of the key authors about that is a gentleman named John Keller from Florida State University, and he created the ARCS model of motivational design, and ARCS stands for attention, relevance, confidence, and satisfaction. And so Worth and I were talking about this, and what we're thinking is that the way that he's using the blogs and Facebook and the kind of comments that he is giving to the students, first of all, he's really focused on attention because Facebook does have his audience, so he's going there and keeping their attention. The other thing is he's got relevance because he's making all the assignments directly relevant to what they should be learning in the classroom, and also they're real-life kinds of projects and public postings. By giving all the positive comments on Facebook in the blog spots, he is building their confidence, which helps the motivation and keeps students focused on learning and building their satisfaction at the same time with what they are learning. So we haven't, Worth is still tracking data, but those are the hypotheses we have about what is happening.
Right. So far the feedback's good, but I do want to quantify the feedback, and I'm going to use some survey tools to make sure that gets done. Well, thank you, Road Trip, staff, and faculty. It's been a tremendous experience.